Now, one thing about us is that we are so excited to be here because we're all about success. We're salespeople. We love the path that gets us to success, which brings us to our guest speaker today, Victor Antonio. Now, he's an author, trainer, speaker, and he's proof that the American dream is alive and well today. Now, Victor comes to us from the rough streets of Chicago, tough background, but it didn't stop him. As he went on to school and get a Bachelor of Science degree in electrical engineering, soon afterwards he received his MBA, and then he went on and had a successful career as a top sales executive. But then after that, as he is today, he's the CEO of a high-tech company. Prior to that, he was president of global sales and marketing for a company that was $420 million. Prior to that, he was vice president of international sales of a Fortune 500 company, which net worth was $3 billion. So one thing about Victor Antonio is that, you know what, as much success that he's had in his accomplishments, we all have a purpose in life. It's about giving back. Now, he's giving back and speaking all over the world. I'm talking Australia, South Africa, Saudi Arabia, Middle East, Europe, Latin America, the Caribbean. But most of all, we have him here today in Chicago. So that's really exciting to us. Now, he shared the stage with some of the top motivational speakers around when it comes to business. Zig Ziglar, Rudy Giuliani, Paul Ortolini, CEO of Intel, John May, CEO of FedEx Kinko's. But one thing we know for sure is that he is a proven communicator and he is a proven motivator. So if you please stand up and give an NSN welcome to Victor Antonio.
That's right. All right, how we doing, NSN? All right, you know I got some basic questions to ask, man. I got some basic questions. I got to get them out of the way. If it's your first time, you'll get used to it real quick. Now, I want to know, am I in a conference or in a celebration? Clap if you think we're in a conference. Those are the new people. Wrong. Are we in a celebration? Yes or no? All right. I got two types of speeches I give. I got a real boring one. Got a real exciting one. Both contain the same content, but I'm going to let you decide. Clap if you want the boring one. Oh, you're getting good. Clap if you want the exciting one. All right. And again, clap if you don't care, as long as it's good and it's real short. Right? So I got 30 minutes with you. Don't blame me. Blame Dave Richardson. Where's Dave Richardson at? I haven't harassed him today. Oh, there he is. How you doing? I'll be good now. All right. I didn't think he was in the room. All right. So anyway, I want to give you some information. I want to have some fun with you, but I always want to test the mental dexterity of my audience. So here's what I'm going to ask you to do. Give me the okay sign with your right hand. All right. Put that food down. Right? Now here's what I want you to do. With your finger, go down to your middle finger, ring finger, pinky finger, and work that sucker all the way back up. Did anybody have a problem with that? If you did, leave the room. Left hand. Same thing. Work it all the way down to the pinky finger, work it all the way back up. We're good? All right. Now listen carefully. NSN, here's the real test. With your right hand, give me the okay sign. With your left hand, put your thumb on your pinky finger. Listen carefully. Instructions are very important here. At the count of 3, I'm going to ask you to multitask. To basically go down with one and up with the other. But wait till I count to 3. Don't get ahead of yourself. Don't get ahead of yourself. All right? I want to see how this looks. At the count of 3, real simple, just like that. 1, 2, 3, go. Stop. Just stop. It is so visually disturbing from up here. I see grown folk doing this. I can't count, right? Now let me ask you a question. Why was it easy to do with one hand? Because you've always done it. Why was it easy to do with the second hand? Because you've always done it. But when I just asked you to do something new, was it a little difficult? Yes or no? Now studies have shown that if you practice this for 30 days, it becomes a what? That comes with a warning. That if you walk around the office practicing like this, you'll never get a raise, right? And if you do this in public while you're walking, people will think you're special. Don't do it. So, all right, seeing that you failed the test, you get the simple presentation. Now, here's what we're going to do. Let's see if I can get the slide going. All right, got you there. Next slide. Where's my slide? There it is. Wow. See, I was born and raised in Chicago, born and raised in the hood. You know what I'm talking about? Near the Cabrini Green housing projects. It's changed quite a bit. Back then, we were poor, 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 poor. Take the poverty test with me. I want to make sure you're on the same page. Back in the day, you knew you were poor when you had to change the television channel with the what? When the knob broke off. Pliers. Absolutely, with a plier, right? Young people going, knob? What knob? Right? I got that. Knob, right? By the way, if you didn't have a plier, you used what? A screwdriver. Beautiful. When the antenna broke off because there was no cable TV, what'd you use? Man, if you were so poor you didn't have a hanger, what'd you use? Aluminum. Man, there's some poverty in here. You are my people. So we were poor, 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 right? And I always get the question, Victor, so you've been very successful. Tell me, Victor. What was that motivating driver? What was that? How did you do it, right? And people, when they ask me that question, they have that misty look in their eyes, like they're looking for the secret, right? How did you do it, Victor? You know, what was your primary motivating reason, right? And they're waiting there with bated breath, like, what is it, right? And then I always tell them, Mom, or in Spanish, Mommy. Give it up for the mothers in the house. Right? My mother was the ultimate motivator. And my mother had a simple tool for motivating. What was it? Yes, a sandal. She had options. She had twigs, right? The belt, but she went straight for the what? The sandal. In Spanish, la chancleta, right? And so all of a sudden, some of you get those. Anybody? Spanish people clap. All right, Puerto Ricans clap. God, I feel so alone. Anyway, let's move on. So anyway, but you know what I'm talking about. And I remember my mother, I remember one time, another test. Back in the day, when did you have to get back inside the house? Right, when the street lights came on, it's like, oh, I'm late, right? So you run home, right? You're running home, because we didn't stay inside. We were always what? Outside. Saw the lamp, you're like, got to run home. And I remember I got home one time, and my mother says in Spanish, she says, ven aquí. And that means, come here. And she had that look. You know that look I'm talking about? And so I remember, without thinking about it, I said, no. Oh, yeah. See? Everybody's like, you wish it was like the Matrix. You could stop, go over there, grab the word. I said, no, man, that wasn't meant to go out. That wasn't the word. That was not the word. Right? You don't want to do that, right? And so I remember I said no. And then my mother, she was like Clint Eastwood. She could unholster a sandal, and you didn't see it. It was like it was like there. And so when I said that no, I heard that, you know that thing? And so what did I do? So I turned to run, right? But I took 2 steps, and at that moment, I heard a whistling sound. A definite indicator that the chancleta, the sandal, was airborne, right? That's what it meant. And that thing would go, it had like a radar guidance system on it, right? Because it would go under the table, around the corner, nothing but head, you're on the floor, right? And you wake up the next day on the floor. What happened, right? What happened? You said no to your mother. That's what happened. So I wanted to share that with you because that's where I came from. But I'm always asked a question about sales. Let's move into sales. How did I get into sales? I want to talk to you about sales. And we'll talk later how I got into it. Read this quote. We live in an era where product innovation alone cannot be the basis for corporate success. But read that last part. How you sell has become more important than what you sell. Now, if you don't know who Neil Rackham is, think Michael Porter for marketing, and that's Neil Rackham. Okay? Neil Rackham understands the business. So how do you get into sales? We've all been in sales. I'm going to talk about sales today. And I want to share a couple of things. Now, in sales, we've all read the books, right? We've all read sales books, yes or no? Because we're trying to learn how to sell. You read that one, right? How to Master the Art of Selling. Tom Hopkins, great. Psychology, good to go. You read Spin Selling by Neil Rackham. Ask the right question. Situation, what? Problem, implication, need, payoff. You read that book, you're saying, I think I get it. Then you read Solution Selling. I said, okay, that's pretty good. I think I'll read that book also. Then you read Selling to Big Companies. Okay, because I do sell to big companies, let me read that book. Then you say, okay, let me read How Winners Sell. Yes, Proven Strategies. Okay, I think I got it. Okay, you move on. Brian Tracy, I'm now motivated. Yeah, there we go. My God, they have a sales Bible, right? Gittimer wrote the sales Bible. But then later on, he released this book right here, The Little Red Book of Selling, 12.5 Principles. What does that mean? That officially becomes the what? The New Testament, okay? Then you're reading strategic selling. So you read strategic selling because you want to be strategic, but then they come out with what? The new strategic selling. So you're like, right? So then you read conceptual selling, and then they come out with the new conceptual selling. Well, now you got to sell for results. Go read Bill Stinner. Okay, I think I'm getting the sales thing down. See you at the top, Zig Ziglar. Whoa, 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 whoa. We got to learn how to ask the right question because that's how we sell. But now we got to sell to vetoes, right? Very important top officers, important people. Okay, we got to learn that too. Let's learn that. Whoa, I think I got it. All right. Then, sorry, can't forget cold calling. Got to do that, right? Go back. Then sometimes a sale is a what? A technical sale. It's a complex sale. So now it's major account selling. So you read that. Then this guy comes out with a book. Hope is not a strategy. 6 keys to winning the complex sale. But apparently that's not good enough because this guy's going to teach you how to master the complex sale. And you're like, this is so much. But let's not forget about relationships. Oh, they matter so much, right? So you read that, relationship selling. And then this guy comes out with, no, you got to really understand relationship selling. So you got to read relationship selling, you got to understand it. If that isn't good enough, then you got to go here. Okay, apparently, when you understand it, there's apparently an edge to it that you didn't know about. And right now you're thinking, well, Victor, I know everything about selling. I don't need to know it. You're a know-it-all. Well, don't worry about it. There's the official know-it-all guide to relationship selling. Beautiful. The Challenger sale comes on. Okay, everything's now changed. The sales game is all changed now. Teach for differentiation, tailor for resonance. Let's control the conversation, man. Let's control the conversation. But you got to understand the customers. They come out with this, right? Now we got to what? Change everything we're doing. At this point, your brain should be mush, right? Because then they expect you to what? Go out and what? Figure this out. I mean, can you honestly sit there on a one-on-one conversation talking to somebody and remember all this stuff? What am I supposed to do? Yes or no? No, it's impossible. So what's the solution? Don't worry about it. That's why I'm here. See, because I decided to break it down for you, right? So I decided to write my own book. Not that there's enough sales books out there, but mine's a little different. It's called Selling Ain't Hard When You Know How, right? Just trying to help. I'm just trying to help people, right? Just trying to help you. So let's get to it. 3 theories. Innocent approved. Am I right, David? Thank you very much. They're approved. 3 theories, breaking it down simple. That's all you got to do is remember 3 theories. Just like people look for the unified field effect theory, right? This is my unified theory. You just got to learn 3 theories. That's it, and you understand the whole sales game. Is that a big challenge? Yes or no? Okay, good. Field theory number 1, the unified sales theory. What is the unified sales theory? The unified sales theory is the simplest and most complete sales system ever created by a salesperson to sell product, service, solutions, and anything else you mentioned over the world and maybe even on other planets. Okay? So what I'm going to give you is the ultimate sales solution. Listen carefully. I don't care what sales process you use today. I'm going to break it down into its simplest formula, and I don't care what book you read, it will follow this formula. You ready for it? You ready for it? Yeah. Now listen carefully. I don't usually share this with just anybody, but I'm going to share it with you. Some of you already know why, but I'll tell the rest of you why. Because you. Yeah, good. All right. This is the simplest sales process you'll ever have discovered. The first one is what? Empathize, right? You got to empathize. Now remember, you got to truly empathize. Be your customer. Now many years ago, I learned there's a difference between sympathy and empathy. Here, I'll give you a visual so you'll never forget. You're standing on the deck of a boat, right? Minding your own business, enjoying the view. Somebody comes by. They go by the banister, the rail. They start throwing up over the banister. And you're like, damn, that must hurt. That's sympathy. Now, if you went over there and threw up with them, that's empathy, right? So I need you to start throwing up with your customers. What a visual. Good. Moving on. You got to educate people today, right? Now look it. Today, there's a fundamental difference between information and insight. Would you agree? Customers don't need more data. They need you to give them insight. They need you to clarify their thinking. Here's my definition of insight. Write it down. I think it's a great definition. Insight. Information beyond the obvious. If you're talking to a customer and you're telling them things they already know, you're not really helping them, right? So insight, information beyond the obvious. Now we got to empower them to make a decision. Now when we empower somebody, we want to guide them to buy our product. Is that correct? Yes or no? Is it possible to talk to somebody and guide them to the conclusion, which is to buy our product? You think you can do that? Yes or no? I'm going to prove to you you can do it. Break out a sheet of paper, pen and pen, right now, real quick. We're doing this real fast. Okay? And if you stayed out late last night, this will be a challenge. Now, listen carefully. What I want you to do is don't let your partner see what you're going to write down. Just cover what you're going to write down. Right? Now, listen carefully. I want you to pick a number. Pick a number between 2 and 10. Go ahead. Pick a number. Write it down between 2 and 10. Don't let your neighbor see that number. 2 and 10. Got it? Good. Take that number, multiply it by 9. Go ahead. You should have a new number. It should be a 2-digit number. If you have a single-digit number at this point, you failed. Leave the room. 2-digit numbers. Take those 2 digits and add them together. You should now have a single-digit number. Everybody with me? Say yes? Subtract the number 5 from that number. Subtract the number 5. You should have a new single-digit number. Got it? Yes or no? All right. That number corresponds to a letter of the alphabet. If it's, if it's A, 1, A, 2, B, 3, C, 4, D, 5, E. Write the letter down. Write the letter down. Whatever that number is, what letter does it correspond to in the alphabet? You guys with me so far? I lost half the crowd already. Now I know who went out. Good. All right. Now look at that letter. Are you looking at the letter? That letter, I want you to think, listen carefully. I want you to think of a European country that begins with that letter. Write that country down. Go ahead, write that country down. Got it? Now, look at the country name. Go to the second letter in that country name. You see that letter? Now think of a large land mammal that begins with that letter. Write that mammal down. Go ahead, write it down. You guys got it? Yes or no? Yes. All right. Also, write down the color of that mammal. What color is that mammal? Write it down. Now, I need you to stand. I want the visual proof. I'm going to say something, and if it matches, you stand. There are no gray elephants in Denmark. Stand up. I know. Thank you. The boy's genius. Is it possible to guide people to a conclusion you've already determined? Yeah! All right, good. I know. That's theory number 1. Some of you going, don't worry about it. Listen carefully. Did you know that companies with the sales process typically close 48% more business, have a shorter sales cycle, 37%, which is very good, and also generate 2x revenue per head just by having a process? The process I just shared with you really works. Empathize, educate, and then empower them to make a decision. You with me? I say get it, you say got it. Get it? Good. All right. What do your clients want from sales reps? What do you think your clients want from you? Yell it out. Knowledge, solution, what else? Come on, yell it out. No. Here's what your clients want from you. They want a wedgie. Yes, a wedgie. Not that wedgie. That's the wrong wedgie. I am now going to introduce you to the unified buying theory, right? Also known as the unified why buy theory. Why do clients buy from you, right? How many folks went to my value-centric workshop? Clap. The rest of you, you really missed out. But I'm going to cover that again because this is so important. There's 3 reasons clients buy from you. That's it. 3 reasons, no more, no less. Here they are. They want you to, by the way, I've got to give you the definition. What is it? The synthesis of why clients buy. Now, here's what they want. They want you to help them increase their revenue. Yes? Show me how you can reduce my cost, and then also show me how you're going to help me expand my market share. Now, these are all interrelated. If I help you increase your revenue by economies of scales, if I do it right, I can reduce the cost of my products, which means I can lower my price. If I can lower my price, I can then go into new markets that I've never gone into before, and I can expand my market share. If I help them reduce their costs, what have I just done? Again, interrelated. Reduce the cost, I can now go into new markets, right? Expand my market share, which will in turn what? Generate more revenue. If I come up with a new product and we offer it to them and they can resell it, we help them expand their market share. If we help them expand their market share, it increases their what? Revenue, which in turn helps them what? Reduce their costs. Are you with me so far? All right, so let me give you the visual here. Here's a study that was done with 500 IT buyers. They said, when you listen to a salesperson, what are you looking for? What are your pain points? What are your value drivers, your economic value drivers? Increase productivity, makes sense, yes or no? Cut costs, not surprised. Better customer service, gain a competitive edge, right? Increase sales, keep up with internal company growth. You get the idea. But notice these right here. What are those? If you really look at them, they're... All right, everybody do this. Give me the thumbs up. Everybody give me the thumbs up. Do these, follow the gesture. increase revenue, reduce costs, expand market share. Do the thing with the pinky like that. It's kind of cool. Got that? Got that? So from now on, when you're talking to a customer, that's all they care about. You can talk to a CEO of a Fortune 500 company, and at the end of the day, all he cares about three things: increase revenue, reduce market share, or reduce costs, expand market share. You with me? Okay, beautiful. That was the obvious one. Now, let me give you the visual of what I mean by a wedgie. Here's the wedgie part. That's typical revenue, what? An operating cost, right? When you insert the profit wedge, what do? You're basically what? Helping them increase their revenue and reduce the cost. From this day forward, the word wedgie should mean something new to you. Yes? Love you. Okay. By the way, do clients lie? What? You're so cynical. Do clients lie? Yes or no? Yes. Feldman did an interesting study. He studied people in the room, and here's what he found. He said that if people are in a room and they're having a 10-minute conversation, right? Two people are having a 10-minute conversation. In 10 minutes, people will say 2.923 inaccurate things in 10 minutes. Let me say it the way I would say it in Chicago. They lie 3 times every 10 minutes. At this point, some of you are reflecting on last night's conversation. Right? I think about it, right? Why? Now let me ask you another question, a real easy one. Who lies most, men or women? I always like that because men are kind of like, I ain't saying anything. Women are like, men. And it's not just men, it's men, right? The answer is, you lie equally, but you lie for different reasons. Why do you think men lie, ladies? Look at that, I got plenty of reasons. That was such a bad question I just asked. I'm sorry, pull back, right in the pocket, right? Men lie to make themselves look better. Would you agree with that, ladies? Look at seated. Yes, right? Women lie because women lie to make the other person feel better. Oh, special. Special. I feel so, right? But that's it. Do our clients lie? They always lie. And when they lie to us, they don't want to buy from us, right? So what are the reasons clients don't buy from us? Well, I've come up with the unified resistance theory, also known as the why not theory, right? Why won't you buy? The definition again, you can read it, collection of why clients don't buy. Let me make it easy for you. Here's the visual. I like to use this acronym, Mount Nut, right? Think of a mountain, nut, right? They don't buy for 5 reasons: money, time, need, urgency, or trust. That's why they don't buy. One of the 5 reasons they don't buy, it's that simple. Now, it really isn't about time, because if I can show you how to increase your revenue, reduce your costs, or expand your market share, you'll make the time for me, am I right? Is it about price, yes or no? Is it about price, yes or no? If you went to my workshop, you know it's about what? Risk mitigation, right? Reducing risk. But is it about price? Here's how I learned this lesson the hard way. So I became VP Sales Latin America. They moved me down to Argentina, right? The market itself was only $14 million. They said, Victor, we need you to grow the market. 3 months later, I come back to the corporate office. I'm sitting in the office of the president of the division, right? Name is Lynn Davis. Lynn says, Victor, is there anything else we can do for you to support you, to help you grow your business in Latin America? Because he was there because he didn't want to see me fail. Is there anything, Victor, we could do for you? Without thinking, knee-jerk reaction, I said something like this: Lynn, if we had better pricing, we could sell more in Latin America. Right? Now visualize this. Mahogany, mahogany, mahogany. The most intimidating big bay windows. You get the idea? And he's sitting behind the desk, and I say this, and all of a sudden, he just goes solemn, and it goes quiet. It's like you can hear the crickets in the background. Right? And I'm thinking, you know that moment when you said, oh, dang. I just said something I shouldn't have, right? And then he says this. This was the lesson I learned. I've shared this before. The lesson I learned, he said this. Victor, he says, let me ask you a question. If to win the business in Latin America, I got to lower my price, why don't I just fire you and the sales force and then send everybody a brochure? You know, I mean, I'm like bleeding right there. Like, yeah, you can just see it. Got me like, it was like, and then he twisted, he goes, do you still want to talk about price? Man, I looked at him. I didn't flinch. I'm from Chicago. I looked at him dead in the eye. I said, I don't know who brought that up in the first place. Let's move on. That's what you say. That's what you say. You got to man up sometimes. You know, you got to man up sometimes. All right, money time needs. So it's not about the money. By the way, we were selling our products on average 30% above our competitors. It is possible. We grew the revenues from 14 million to 98 million annual revenues in 2.5 years, and still selling above price. Thank you very much. So, is it need? A lot of customers know they need something, but are not what? Committed to getting it, right? Do we have to create urgency? Yes or no? The little X up there is that we have to what? Increase the pain. Get the idea? All right. Here's a study that was done that 80% of the people who you're talking to on this study are in the acknowledge. They know it's not good enough, right? They know it's not good enough. You with me so far? Wonderful. So this is it. Last part to finish this out. The last part is trust. I'm going to give you one quick tip on trust. Did you know that when you're talking to a client, they're typically looking at you 75% of the time, but you're looking at them what percentage of the time? 40% of the time. And this study showed that by simply increasing your eye contact to more than 50%, you will what? Increase your what? Credibility. Just by looking at your customers more. So there you have it. This is the 3 sales system. This is all you have to remember. You guys with me, yes or no? That's all you have to remember. It's not that now. Here's the sad thing. I know this is called the Ebbinghaus Curve. And basically on why people forget. Look at that. Within 20 minutes, you'll forget 60% of what I've presented. That's depressing. I'm 25 minutes into this, which means you already forgot 60% of what I said in the first 20 minutes. I don't know how I feel about that. But another study showed that you will forget really 75% of what I just showed you within 24 hours. You will forget 95% within 31 days. And the 5% you're able to recall, 50% of that is inaccurate. That's depressing. So I'm going to solve that problem. I came out with some new programs. Oh, by the way, I put this up there because who never forgets? Women. Do a woman wrong, she'll never forget. Make a mistake, she'll never forget. Tell her she's wrong, and it turns out she ain't wrong, she'll never forget. Okay? By the way, I have 6 new video programs online. I also just released one about a week and a half ago. It's called Value-Centric Selling. For those of you who missed it, this is the program, okay? Now, I'm going to have this up there for 30 days. Then I'm taking it down and charging you money for it. Now, I'm going to give it to you for free. Why? Because? Yes. All right. So there's the website. Just go to SellingerGroup.com and you can get it. Now, I got to wrap up because my time's almost done. So here's what I need you to do. I've given you a lot of information. Now we take the pledge. You know how we end this all the time. Everybody on your feet. If you've never been here before, just work with me. All right. Let's wrap this up. Fingers in the air. All right. I pledge allegiance to my thing. See, some of you know already. Like, all right, for the new people, put your fingers down. Put your fingers down for a second. See, in life, we never want to do a thing. We want to do a what? Because when you do your thing, beautiful things begin to happen. When you just do a thing, you'll always have a job, which stands for what? Just over broke, because that's what you'll be. So, right? So we want to do a what? All right, fingers back up. I pledge allegiance to my thing. I will rise above. Doing what I love. I will make that dough. Look how happy you get. One more time. I will make that dough. Doing what I know. And those who laugh, louder like you mean it, and those who laugh can kiss my no assets, innocent. Thank you very much. Appreciate you. Thank you very much.
The mic is hot, guys. The mic is hot. This is my official symbol of the mic is hot, when you just drop the mic just like this. That's what Victor did for us today. Give him a big round of applause, another big round of applause.
Every manager can feel it. The difference between a motivated, value-driven sales team and one that's stuck in a rut. CEOs know the difference too. They can see it clearly in the profit and loss columns. The question is, how do you get your team to this elite level? Is there something extra you can do to break through the remaining resistance and equip them with the right mindset to grow your business? Yes, there is. But you're not going to do it with one of those cheesy inspirational speakers or some self-proclaimed guru. What you need is someone with a real business track record to deliver key insights in a captivating way, to give your team the right tools for selling in today's tough marketplace. Enter Victor Antonio, experienced executive, innovative thinker, compelling speaker. He's ready to deliver the message you need your people to hear, not with a canned speech, but a customized, dynamic keynote designed to deliver results. Bring Victor Antonio to your next event before the competition does. Go to www.victorantonio.com for more information.